Go.
Oh, Lance Neubauer. I'm going to be giving a presentation today on the difference between millennials and baby boomers in the workplace, specifically on the construction site. So what we have here is we have two different groups of people that have two very, very different ways of seeing the world. They grew up in different generations. They grew up with different types of parents. They grew up with different types of norms. And now when they get together on a job site, it's very hard for them to communicate because it's kind of like they don't speak the same language. Baby boomers were raised by parents who actually fought in a war. Many of them fought in a war. The only war that millennials know is one that's played on the Xbox. So that's a very, very different concept of how hard life can be. So now you have these two trying to communicate on a job site, and they are very, very different. One kind of has this notion of being very tough love. That would be the baby boomers. You got to think, if you're raised by somebody who went to war, they give you that tough love. That's just the way it is. Now, when you look at millennials were very encouraged and came from what was known as the self-esteem generation, and they were told that, you can be anything you want to be, and you have a high level of value, and you can esteem to be the top of anything you do. And then you have them working for baby boomers who then are looking at them and saying, hey, get to work. There's some work to do here, and they're very tough, and it's a hard thing to communicate with. Negative reinforcement is something that the baby boomers use probably well over half of the time, rather than positive reinforcement the way the millennials want to feel that. This is a very big difference, because what you can get is you can get people feeling very discouraged. If they're used to being uplifted, but they're not being taught that way, they have a tough time with it. So what we have here is we have, again, this sort of idea where you have one person coming in speaking one language, the baby boomers, and you have somebody else speaking a completely different language. It's a pretty difficult situation, and there needs to be something done. There needs to be something done to communicate these two groups together better. So, as I said, it's tough love and a difference in languages, miscommunication. One person hears this, one person hears that, and now all of a sudden there's no continuity on the job site. I've seen this in construction my whole life. My dad's a very tough-loving guy, tough, and you know what? I need things explained to me. In a way that I understand. They'll often say things like, back in my day, it used to be like this. Baby boomers come from a different time. They understand technology differently, or sometimes not at all. So when they don't understand today's basic technology, it can also cause many problems on the job site. Baby boomers, too, especially in the trades, use outdated language. And much of that outdated language, by today's standards, is considered to be racist. So when you have a millennial brought up in a different world, who's talking to a baby boomer who's using outdated language, which is now considered racist, they're looking at their superior differently. They don't completely respect what he's saying because he uses language which is no longer appropriate. He's very tough loving on that. It's hard for the millennial to talk up to the baby boomer because the baby boomer is in charge. So what can end up happening is the millennial can get hurt feelings. It happened to me a lot on a job site, and I got made fun of for having hurt feelings because the older baby boomer generation doesn't have feelings. That's what they say. These people here are from different worlds. So as I just kind of close out here, what I'm going to say is that tough love and this modern era of encouragement can work together. It can work together, but something's going to have to be brought together in terms of courses, in terms of awareness, in terms of the odd meeting where you just try to get back on the same page so that they can see that even though they speak different language, that they can be peacefully together on the job site. I've seen this not be the case on the job site many, many times, but I see no reason why, if there wasn't a focused effort to get what the message of the baby boomers is trying to get across to the millennials, that it could impact the job in a very positive way. So I think all they really need is just some sort of programming that we could put together that would make them speak the same language. So I thank you for your time. God bless you.